Yeah, you're not in the camera. If you're facing that way, you're okay. All right. Eid al-Adha is the remembrance of the sacrifice of Abraham, according to the Muslims. Yeah? Am I correct? Can you just say yes so I can hear it?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah? Okay, fine. So, but what they don't understand is the significance of sacrifice. Why is there a sacrifice needed in the first place? Why does God require a sacrifice? Why?
Because he was asked to sacrifice his son.
Why did God ask him to sacrifice his son?
As a test of faith.
As a test of faith. Okay. And then what happened when he went up to give his son to sacrifice him? What happened?
God was merciful and he didn't sacrifice his son in the end.
And what happened after that? Did he sacrifice anything?
Yes, yes.
What did he sacrifice?
An animal.
A what?
A lamb.
A lamb.
Or an animal in the shape of
A lamb. You said a lamb.
No, exactly. Don't quote me.
Where did you get that from? A lamb. Is it in the Quran?
An animal.
No. Does the Quran say a lamb? Does it say an animal? Does it say a cow? Or does it say a camel?
I'm not sure. I'll have to check.
Okay, so you don't know.
Check.
All right.
But fine.
All right. So Jesus is called what? The Lamb of God. Why? Because he's referring to that sacrifice where God was pointing to his son, the Lamb of God, who's going to come to sacrifice himself for the world. Do you understand now what the sacrifice is for? The blood is the payment of sin. In the Bible is taught, not in their Quran. They have no idea about what blood sacrifice is for. They have no idea. Because the Quran doesn't tell them. We know why it is. Because from the beginning, when Adam sinned, there was a lamb that was God's sacrifice to take its skin and cover his sin. Meaning, before he could not see, he was naked. But after sin, his eyes were open to sin. And to cover sin, God had to sacrifice an animal and cover his sin. Because now he could see his sin. Do you understand that?
Does this have to do with the Old Testament?
This is from the Old Testament.
So
what I'm talking about.
So you said earlier you don't really care about the Old Testament.
I didn't say that.
Oh, it was something on the vein of...
No, not on the way up. Listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think what you're doing is I think he's listening is a much better listener than you are.
Maybe.
I think what you're doing is just trying to catch something you can come back on.
No.
Don't do that.
I'm not
Listen to what I'm saying.
to make a point, so why would I be
I don't
doing
know
that?
what your point is. Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? All right. Listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm trying.
All of it.
Yeah,
okay, then you'll get it.
It's hard.
Otherwise, it'll be a waste of my time. I said to you, Old Testament is talking about Jesus, the coming Messiah. That's what I said. That's what I believe. Everything in there is for the coming Messiah. Is that from a Christian perspective? That's what I believe. The laws were applied to the Jews. Okay? The laws at that time were not applying to the Christians.
So you as a Christian don't care about the laws outlined.
Not the laws that the Jews were prescribed to follow.
You as a Christian don't care about the laws in the Old Testament. Yes or no?
There are 10 commandments in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Okay, there are 600 and something, 600 plus laws for the Jews. We don't follow the 600 plus laws.
Okay.
All right, I don't care about them. All right. However, there is law of God, which is the 10 commandments, which we do care about. Okay. Does that make it clear for you?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
All right.
This is why I was saying you went on a tangent, because you started talking about
I was listening. I can answer all the questions if you ask it properly and you give me a chance to answer it.
I did.
I'll answer it.
Yeah.
All right. Now, just to make this clear, if there is a sacrifice, that means it has to be paying for some what? What did I say?
sacrifice, it has to be
What
paid.
paying for what? What is the sacrifice needed for?
To pay for sins.
Pay for sins. But Islam doesn't teach that. It teaches the opposite.
What is it? It teaches the opposite.
Ask them what it teaches about the sacrifice. Why do they sacrifice? Why?
It's not paid for sins. You're saying
No,
it teaches
no,
it's
they
not-
don't believe that. That's what they don't believe. I'm standing here. Ask your Muslim friend, is the sacrifice for... I can't hear you, sir.
Sacrifice got to do with anything.
That's what I was also asking.
I'm confused why.
I'm talking about Islam does not teach you the truth. The truth of sacrifice. You do listen, you're doing a ritual, you're sacrificing an animal, right?
Coming back.
But you have no idea what you're doing the ritual for. What's the benefit of that ritual? You have no idea. Because Islam doesn't give you the context. You said he sacrificed a lamb. When you said lamb, then I said lamb. You said, no, it was an animal. Well, I don't know what it was.
No, that's just because
First he said it was a lamb. Because where did he get that from? Because Quran doesn't tell you the stories.
No, but don't use
the
my
Bible
knowledge
does.
as a weapon.
So Quran just steals stories from the Bible out of context. And then Muslims get confused because they don't understand where it's coming from or what it's about. And that is why I'm trying to tell you is like, don't, if you're going to ask something, that's fine. I can explain to you about Christianity if you have a question about it. That's fine. That's what I do here all the time. I don't know if you've seen me, but I do that all the time here.
Yeah, I've seen the video of you and Hamza.
Okay. So anyways, I do that a lot here. So I can answer your questions about Christianity, but what I want you to know is that when I speak about Christianity to a Muslim, because here's the thing, I don't know what his faith is. If he's not a Muslim, he was not taught falsehood about Christianity when he was a kid, whereas you were.
How would you know? Why are you making that assumption?
Because I know what Islam teaches about Christianity.
But you know nothing about my background. You're saying I was taught about Christianity as a child. It's a baseless accusation.
Sorry?
You're saying you were taught lies about Christianity as a child.
As a child, if you're a Muslim, because it's in the Quran.
How do you know I was even taught about Islam as a child? How do you know?
Okay, so you're not a Muslim. I thought you said you're a Muslim.
That doesn't mean I was taught lies about Christianity as a child.
No, okay. Let me restate it. Let me restate it.
So don't make those
let me restate it. All Muslims are taught lies about Christianity. It's the only religion that focuses their propaganda against Christianity. It's the only one. It specifically says Jesus didn't die on the cross. It specifically says that. Why does Quran have anything to do with Jesus? Why? Why can't Muhammad come and say everything else is wrong, I am the last prophet, believe in me? Why does he have to go and attack Jesus' sacrifice on the cross, which is what this is all about? Because I told you about the sacrifice because this is forgiveness of sins. If there is no forgiveness of sins because there is no sacrifice, because Quran is denying the sacrifice. Now you see my point? Why I was talking about the sacrifice? My friend, there is a method to this madness. I'm not just talking, I'll make the connections for you.
Yeah. You're trying to contradict Islam, which is fine. That's what you're here for.
Which is what I'm doing. It's basically, if you say, Jesus didn't die on the cross, meaning you're denying the sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. And the Bible contradicts it and says those who say Jesus didn't die and rise from the dead are from the devil.
That's cool. I was still hung up on why the Old Testament is relevant to you as Christians. You take the 10 Commandments, but not the 600 other laws that are only applied to Jews, right?
No, we don't sacrifice either. Why don't we just sacrifice? The next question you could ask is, why don't Christians sacrifice? Because this is one of the laws.
Yeah.
This is one of the laws,
600.
Jewish laws, yes.
Yeah, I'm saying you guys don't believe in that. I'm saying you don't, right?
It doesn't apply to us is what I'm saying, yeah.
It doesn't apply to you.
How you doing?
So, why is it part of your Bible? Why, if you only care about the 10...
Okay, you want to know why?
Yeah, why is it important?
All right.
That's why I want to know.
Bible has two sections. One was written before Jesus.
Old Testament.
It was written about Jesus,
The
coming Messiah. The laws that were given in those days were for the Jews to follow. But they were all pointing towards it. The laws were supposed to be like the sacrifice. Why did God ask them to sacrifice? Because God was pointing them to the coming Messiah who's going to sacrifice. So it was a teaching course.
It was a teaching course.
It was a teaching course. So all these laws that they were following, God was trying to make a point to them that this is what the Messiah is. When he comes, that's what. So all the Christians who were Christians in the beginning were all Jews.
Right,
Right? Right. Exactly. So that means that as a Christian, Christianity is like a continuation of Judaism. However, it's like after you finish high school, you don't repeat the same courses in your college, do you? Okay? University, right? So after you finish Old Testament, now there's a New Testament, that's university.
Okay. Should the New Testament... It's weird if the New Testament contains contradictions to the Old Testament, right? If it's a direct continuation, you wouldn't expect there to be contradictions in the New Testament to the Old Testament, right? If I'm going from high school to university, if I learn something at university, that's contradictory.
But that doesn't, no. Okay, let me give you the same example.
Okay.
So in high school, what you learn, in college, you don't hear that it's false what you learn.
Exactly.
It just says it's teaching you the basics. Now you're going to learn the main stuff, right? The real thing, right? So now Jesus comes and says, okay, all that was there for you to learn who the Messiah is. Now I'm here, now I'm going to dictate the laws. And one of the things that he said, in the old days, God, because of the hardness of your heart, allowed you to divorce. That was one of their laws.
Okay, so-
he came and abrogated it. They believe in abrogation. He came and abrogated it. He said, now I say to you, though anybody who leaves his wife for any other reason other than sexual immorality is guilty of adultery.
Okay, so you just sort of repeated what I said. The New Testament shouldn't contain any contradictions. It's a more in-depth version of what the Old Testament is.
No, you misinterpret. That's a misinterpretation of what I said.
Sorry,
no, that's a misinterpretation of what I said.
The Old Testament has the basic stuff, and then when you go to university, when you go from high school to university, then you get into it. You get more detail, right? This is what he said.
That's what I said.
Repeating what you
I
said.
said the Old Testament
Yeah.
gives you the basic laws to follow, so you know who the Messiah is when he comes.
Okay.
Now, when the Messiah comes, he gives you the law.
The law.
Now, I'll give you an example of this. Let me give you an example. The Jews came to Jesus, and they knew all the 600 laws.
Yeah.
And they knew Jesus is a rabbi, so he knows all the laws. So what did they ask him? They said, Rabbi, tell us, which is the greatest commandment or the law?
Yeah.
What was his response? No. Okay, let me answer this. Jesus said, love your God with all your heart, with all your might, with all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. This fulfills all the laws. That's what it says. So now, are we under the 600 laws? Thank you.
Thank you for the lesson. But the Old Testament, this is what we were talking about.
You're still hung up on the Old Testament. I just gave you the clarification.
But you haven't answered my question.
Oh, really? Okay, go ahead.
This is why I'm coming
What
back
is
to
the
what we were
question?
talking about
Yeah.
before. The Old Testament says not to consume the flesh of swine.
Yeah.
Right? Jesus comes in the New Testament.
And says what?
It's fine.
What does he say? It's not what goes inside of you that makes you a sinner. It's what comes out of you. He said, what comes out of you? I said, lust, greed, murder, everything that comes out of you like that, that is what makes you
Jesus
sinner.
said it's not what goes inside of you. Do you agree that's a direct contradiction to thou must not eat?
No, it's not. It's not. Let me tell you why it's not. Hold on, bro. Let me finish. I've been talking to this guy, so let me just finish this. Ask this guy, is there abrogations in the Quran? Do you know what an abrogation is? Do you know what an abrogation is? Do you know what an abrogation is? No. Let me tell you what an abrogation is. If I am the boss, this is my part. Let's say I own this part. There's no sign here that says no smoking, right? So you can light up a cigarette, right? Today I come and say, put no smoking signs up. Anybody who smokes here, $1,000 fine.
Yeah.
Okay? £1,000 fine. Okay? Can I do that?
You own the part,
Oh, he said I own the part. Exactly. So if God owns this world, he comes in this world, he can make a new law.
That contradicts an old law.
No, he can abrogate the old law because he did that with the marriage. Listen, he did that with the divorce law. He said in the old days, God allowed you to divorce, but I sit here.
Why do you change it?
Because he said, listen, well, read the passage. If you guys want to help him out, read the passage where Jesus is talking about the divorce law.
Yes.
You just quote him
something on the order of, because of the hardness of your hearts,
God allowed you to divorce.
yes.
And now what I say to you is, anybody who lets go of a woman other than sexual immorality is guilty of adultery.
So could you just layman's term that? Why did he change the law? Why are the humans off?
Because the answer is, he owns the park.
So it's because God said so.
No. Because God owns God is the one that comes and makes the laws, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if I make a law, you can smoke. Tomorrow I make another law,
God is the power.
right? So you say, why are you contradicting yourself? Before you said smoking was okay.
Yeah.
Now you said, I would say, wait, smoking was never okay. I just allowed it.
No,
I'm disallowing it. Oh, you're not. That's contradiction. No, it's not a contradiction. God can say, because of the hardness of your heart, I let you divorce. But now I'm telling you, because did God make Adam and Eve so they can divorce? Did they divorce? No. Because God never intended man and woman when they come together to be divorced.
Divorce in the Old Testament.
Right? I'm talking to him.
Why are the laws of divorce in the Old Testament then, if that's the case?
Because Jesus came and abolished those laws.
Show me the evidence.
I'm showing it to him. I'm showing it to
It's in
him.
the Torah. What do you mean?
All right, never mind. It's in the New Testament. What I just said.
Testament's false.
Your justification.
Oh well, you're false. Who said it's false? You said it's false? Who said? Show me in the Quran that the Bible is false. Show it to me. You're lying. Because your Quran doesn't say that Bible is false. You're lying. Your Quran doesn't say Bible is false.
To those who change the scriptures with their own.
No. With their own hands. With their own hands. So they wrote down something that is not real. That is not what it's talking about. It says a group of them. Did all of them do it? A group of them. A group of them. A group of them wrote a lot of hadiths. Do you believe in all the hadiths? You don't. A lot of them wrote the hadiths. You believe all the hadiths? You believe all the hadiths? You don't believe all the hadiths? Don't come back and tell me that. Your Quran said a group of them wrote the text. A group. That means a group. That doesn't mean all of them.
Yeah. So which one got the day of Jesus' crucifixion right?
Which one was what?
Which one got the day of Jesus' crucifixion right?
The day
Yeah.
of crucifixion, right?
John says that it's before the Passover, and Mark, Matthew, Luke say it's the day of the Passover.
Because there were two.
Right.
Let me answer this. He was crucified on a Wednesday because there were two Sabbaths.
Give me the evidence. Yeah, you need to show me the evidence of two Sabbaths.
I'll give you when I'm ready to give it to you.
Tell you what, I'll go get Josh, and you can explain
Listen,
to the two
the
Sabbaths.
high Sabbath is called high Sabbath, and it's a regular Sabbath.
Has nothing to do with
It has.
Okay, keep
It has.
going. Yeah, keep going.
There's two Sabbaths in that week: a high Sabbath and a regular Sabbath.
How can I be
That's
so
fine.
silly?
You're
Yeah.
confused. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
But hang on a minute.
Sorry.
John says that he was in front of Pontius Pilate, and it was a day of preparation before the Passover.
Yeah, you mean that means the high Passover? That's the
minute.
Passover. That's the high Sabbath. The Passover is also that's the high Sabbath.
Okay, so what are they eating in Mark, Matthew, and Luke? What's the Last Supper?
Sorry?
What are they eating in Mark, Matthew, and Luke?
What are they eating?
What's the Last Supper?
What? That's the body and the blood? Is that what you're talking about?
What is the Last Supper? What are they celebrating when they
Passover.
Oh,
So what?
celebrating the Passover.
So that's
Hang
why
on.
I gave you the timeline.
Wait a minute,
I
thought
gave you the
Jesus was
timeline.
dead.
No, the Passover
He's dead. He doesn't
is
make it to the Passover.
no,
According to John.
no, you're wrong. Passover was Thursday.
It's John. John's wrong.
I told you there were two. There were Passover is the Sabbath, the high Sabbath is Passover, and the regular Sabbath is Saturday. I gave you the answer.
You didn't give us an answer.
It's okay.
You made it up to fit the answer.
Sorry?
You lied. You lied. You made it up. There's no such thing as two parts.
Show me that I lied. Show it to me. Show it to me. Show it to me. Just saying it doesn't make it lie. What I could say you're lying. You can say I'm lying.
Let me help you.
I gave it to
I'm
you.
gonna help you.
I gave it to you.
Let me help you. I'm gonna help you.
I don't need your help.
Okay, fine. The Passover, how long does it last for?
What do you
How long
mean?
does a Passover last for? So you got the Passover meal, which is the first night, and then how long does it celebrate for? How many days?
I'm not a Jew, so I'm not sure exactly.
Oh, I thought you were. You said there's two Passovers. Okay, anyway.
I didn't say I'm Jew.
But you said there's two Passovers. Like
No, I didn't say two Passover. I said two Sabbaths. The high Sabbath is a
two
Passover.
Sabbaths. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Two Sabbaths.
you're not listening.
Still not true,
You're missing
but
it.
okay.
Yeah, missing it. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Still not true, but okay. So, when it comes to the Passover, you have the Passover meal on the first day. And then you've got the week, which is 7 days. So the
The
Passover...
week?
Yeah.
What do you mean the week?
Passover, you celebrate for a week.
Okay.
You celebrate for a week, okay? Remember, you got the day of preparation first, where you slaughter the lambs. Listen. I'm going to let you respond, I promise, okay? The conversation's getting a bit better now, all right? So, the day of preparation, you slaughter the lambs. You know the story of Exodus, obviously, right? You know the lambs, and you put the blood on the doorpost. You know how it goes, right? So,
You don't believe that story, do you?
it's in the Quran, yeah. So, it's in the Quran, yeah.
Is what?
It's in our tradition, yes.
Oh, it's in your tradition, but it doesn't tell you what the lamb's blood does.
Well, what do you
If
think
it
does?
saves you,
What do you think it does?
So what do you think it does? When you put the lamb's
It doesn't
blood,
do what you think.
what does it do? It saves you, right?
Watch this. Do you think it's for you? Do you think the Passover lamb or the Passover meal is for the remission of sin?
The lamb that's sacrificed on the Passover is Jesus.
Wait.
That's right. Yeah.
Now answer my question.
I did.
The Jews. Wait, listen again.
You didn't hear what I said? The lamb of the Passover is Jesus. Well, why are you asking me questions?
Wait, before that.
I answered it.
When Moses gave the command for the Jews to slaughter the lamb and put the blood on the doors, was that for the remission of sin?
That was for saving them from the angel of death.
Okay, so not sin.
It's symbolic. It's symbolic. Okay, if it's saving you from death, and Jesus comes and saves you from the second death, it's symbolic.
2,000 years later.
Yeah, of course.
2,000 years
I just explained to this guy, you missed the lesson.
Okay.
I told him the Old Testament,
valuable lesson, I'm sure.
the Old Testament is writing about Jesus.
Oh, I didn't.
Everything in the Old Testament is the coming
Let's
Jesus.
go to church. Come on, let's go.
There you go.
Listen, man.
Go. Read some, get some knowledge before you come and try. Now tell me something about Islam.
Before that.
Oh, no. Don't ask us about Islam. We don't know anything about it. Don't ask us about Islam. Please don't ask me about Islam. I'm scared of Islam. I don't know anything about it. I just followed blindly. Don't ask me. Please don't ask me any question about Islam. Can I ask you a question about your faith? Can I ask you any question?
No.
Can you answer?
I promise you can answer.
You will answer. I'm not asking you. I'm going to ask this gentleman.
You didn't answer.
Before that.
Give an answer and say that you're done without us responding.
That's right.
Do that.
That's how
I've answered several of his questions. I have a right to ask him one question.
Jesus.
I asked him all of his questions.
What's that, Joseph?
I don't. How long do you think I've been here?
Listen.
I don't know. Look at you, mate.
You don't know me. Okay, that's why you're saying that.
On top of that,
Everybody knows who I am, so I know how to debate. And I know how not to let you take over the debate.
And then you're like, there's the truth, let's move on. We didn't accept it's true.
I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to convince you. Who said you? If you don't want to accept it, I'm not here to do that. I'm giving you the answer. You don't have to take the answer. I can take you can take the horse to the water. You can't make it drink. I can give you the information, but I can't make you believe it.
Okay,
that's fine.
You can't give false information.
Well, then that's false to you. Whatever is false to you is false to you. I'm going to ask you a question, right?
In a second. In 1 second, I promise you can ask all the questions you want.
All the questions. Okay. I have a few of them. Then.
No problem. I love your questions. I'm sure they're very brain stimulating. Anyway, so when it comes to the Gospel of John, the reason why, and you can refute this if you want, the reason why John does this and changes the day of Jesus' crucifixion is because he wants Jesus to comport with the story of the Passover lamb in Exodus. It's very intentional. It's very purposeful. Okay, why he's doing that. Okay, there is a theological reason. Okay, now the problem is the Passover lamb. This is how John messed up. The Passover lamb has nothing to do with the remission of sin. Here's the purpose of the Passover lamb. It is to demonstrate to the Pharaoh that you fear nobody except for God. That you will slaughter a lamb, which by the way is worshipped in Egypt, to demonstrate your fear of God only, not of Pharaoh, right? Nothing to do with the remission of sin. This is an abomination, right? Blood sacrifice of a human being. His own Bible condemns it. So please, yes, everyone knows that your religion is a sham. Talk about Islam.
All right. So, first of all, you missed the lesson, Bible lesson again that I gave to this gentleman, explaining why.
He'll be exposed here.
Are you gonna listen?
Yeah.
Okay, I did listen to you, right?
You did.
So I hope you give the courtesy of listening to me.
Always.
All right, thank you. So I was just talking to this gentleman, explaining him why blood is necessary for remission of sin. The first sin that man committed in Eden, Garden of Eden, God had to sacrifice a lamb and cover his sin, meaning his naked body, because he couldn't see his nakedness because he had never sinned. After he sinned, he saw that he was naked. And God, this is from the Bible, and I'm going to talk to you.
I know the story.
You know the story, right? Because it's not in your Quran. Quran is very incomplete. Doesn't give you half the story.
In your opinion.
All right. So the first thing that happened after sin was a blood sacrifice. to cover the sin. Okay, that established. So God, it's in the Genesis. It's in Genesis.
Okay, so you want me to
Can you give him the reference, please? He's asking for a reference for where God sacrificed a lamb to cover Adam's sin. No, in his body. You know, animal skin, right? Where God used the skin of the lamb to cover Adam and Eve.
reply.
Right. So can you give him the reference? Just look it up. Can you look up the reference so you can give it to him? All right. So God made a first blood sacrifice in Eden. Just look for the verse for blood. Adam, the lamb sacrifice God made for Adam. Right. Okay. So. All right. If I don't find it, then I would lose the debate. Okay.
Of course you will.
All right.
You're losing.
And if I find it, you lose the debate, right?
No.
Oh no! Oh, so it works one way. Oh, you're beautiful. I like it. That's very Islamic of you. Really Islamic. So if I don't find it, I lose it. But if you find it, you don't lose it.
Let me say
Here we go. All right, Genesis 3, verse 21. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skins and clothe them. Coats of skin.
What's the sacrifice?
That's the skin. That's the sacrifice. Whose skin? The skin made from skin.
So if I gave you a woolly jumper, that's the sacrifice?
No, it's not a woolly. Oh, so in heaven there were woolly jumpers? Whose wool was it? Whose wool was it? Where do you get the wool? From a lamb.
It's a skin.
Yeah,
It means
it's a skin. Sacrifice to get a skin to cover it. Can you look me up the verse, please? There's another verse. He quoted one, but there's another verse. It talks about God sacrificed a lamb or to cover them with the skin.
Is that illogical if I make this point?
All right. Anyways, we got the answer. It does say the skin. That is the skin of the. Okay. It does say skin. It does say skin.
It doesn't say sacrifice.
Okay. Whose skin was it? Whose skin was it? Whose skin? Whose skin? Tell me whose skin was it? Whose skin was it?
Wait. Instead of yelling, earlier, you said it says sacrifice.
Yes.
You open up your Bible, it doesn't say sacrifice.
blood sacrifice.
Blood sacrifice. This is what you said. And it is on camera. So let's be clear.
Yeah, I'm on camera, and I'm going to say this. Blood sacrifice, how do you get somebody's skin without getting their blood? What are you doing?
I'm just showing them that you're an idiot.
Don't do that.
Well, I mean, it's true, isn't it? Let's be honest. It is false claims.
Okay.
Your whole claim.
It's okay. Now I got a question about your face.
Yes.
Tell me. Okay, now listen to this. Now listen. Now we dealt with that. We're going to have a question to him about this faith.
No blood sacrifice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all made up. Christian belief is
I am talking to him. Can you be next? After I'm done with him, I'll talk to you. Thank you. All right, sir. Can you please tell me why you have the crescent moon on your mosque?
this guy said the exact same thing last time.
Yeah, I did. You know why?
Oh my God.
You know why?
Why?
Because Islam worships Hubal.
Moon God.
The moon god, the moon
No, Hubal.
Moon God, yeah.
Hubal. Because that was the god of your prophet. So,
What are you saying, man?
hey, what's up, buddy? So, can you please
He's
tell me?
Unitarian, by the way.
I know him. So, I know him.
Trinitarian, man. Trinitarian. Okay.
All right. So, are you trying to run away?
I'm not trying to run.
Yeah, I am actually.
Okay, then go ahead. That's what Muslims can do because they don't have answers.
run, yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Give me the answer, please.
I'm faster.
Listen to his answer. What was the question?
Why there's on some mosques.
What does the question ask me? I thought you were listening,
There
bro.
are some moons on some mosques.
Okay.
On some.
Some. How about? No. Listen.
On some.
Is there a crescent moon on your main mosque in Kaaba? The Masjid al-Haram. What is
Kaaba?
No. In the Kaaba. The mosque. The mosque in the Kaaba. Is there a mosque in the Kaaba? The Grand Mosque. The Grand Mosque. In the Kaaba, meaning it's in the vicinity. Okay, it's in the vicinity of Kaaba. At the Kaaba. Let's put it more accurately. At the Kaaba. So your mosque at the Kaaba, at the heart of Islam. Sorry, sir. Let me finish my. I'm not asking you. I'm asking him. Oh, I'm asking him, bro. I'm asking him. So tell me. The one that's in the main Kaaba area, which is a Grand Mosque. It has crescent moon on it, right?
Does it? We don't know. Do you know why we don't know?
Can I show it?
Because you can bring up a picture.
Can I show it?
Could have it. And like I said,
it does.
There's some crescent moons on Mosque. But because it's so insignificant and we don't worship
but why is it not?
I don't know if
don't
there
know.
is some
Okay. So the answer is it's insignificant. Is that your answer?
It is insignificant.
It's your answer too.
That crescent on top of the mosque.
So you don't know the answer.
The only reason why a moon would be important, here's the answer.
Okay,
right?
yeah, good.
The only reason why the moon is important is because as Muslims, just like the Jews, we follow the lunar calendar.
Oh, really? Really? Oh, so the Jews also put the moon on top of their mosque?
No, they don't.
They don't. So why do you put it there?
I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because it became the symbol for the Ottomans.
Oh! Busted again. So first it's the calendar. When it's not the calendar, then it's the Ottoman. Now the problem with the Ottoman argument is this. Let me give you the problem here. It's a huge problem.
Huge problem.
Huge. Now here's the problem.
How big is John? John's problem with the crucifixion.
So
Is that big?
here's the problem with the argument that the Ottoman put it there. The Ottoman put it there after they conquered Constantinople, which is Istanbul.
And where was Jesus to help them? Oh, wasn't that?
It's okay. Listen,
I don't know.
what happened to Muslims? Where are they right now? Is Allah has left the Muslims. He sent all the Muslims to all the Muslims are coming to Christian countries. Allah has left them. That's what he's saying. Allah has left the Muslims. Okay, listen. So let me answer. So are you going to keep interrupting? Are you going to keep interrupting? No, he put in the comment. He made the comment. Why didn't Jesus help them? Okay, so he's trying to get away from the argument. He can't handle the argument. So he said because of the Ottoman, and I'm saying the Ottoman got it from Istanbul. When they conquered Istanbul, they took the symbol of Istanbul. The symbol of Istanbul at that time was a crescent moon, because Istanbul was founded by the Romans.
So you guys worship the moon?
No. By the Romans. The Romans were pagans.
Okay.
This is before Christianity.
Oh, that's what happened to Christianity.
That's right.
Okay,
So
you guys became pagan like them.
No. We weren't worshipping the moon. You started worshipping the moon.
Oh, you worship the sun.
Christians didn't come in and take the symbol of Constantinople, the crescent moon, but the Muslims did. That's according to their logic. We took over the crescent moon because it was a pagan symbol from the Romans who worshipped Diana, who was a moon goddess. And that was dedicated to Diana, that city. It's in history, so you can go and look it up. And it was a crescent moon. That's what they took. Now, that's a false argument, but even if it's their argument, it still shows that you worship the moon god. That's all. And it's not true.
Kisses the stone.
Yeah.
Some kissers, they know that.
The Jews pagan?
The Jews do.
The Jews do what?
That's right. Hey, hang on.
What do the Jews do?
Isaiah kissed the stone. Isaiah kissed the stone.
And then just run away.
And why does he kiss the stone? For the remission of sin.
There you go.
Sorry, let me get the Bible verse. Should I get the Bible verse up?
So
Of Isaiah kissing a black stone. You don't know that?
My friend, are we done with the... So you worship the moon god, right? So you accept that you have the crescent moon. Why do you have the moon god?
Why do you have the sun god?
moon god.
Why do you have the sun god?
Who has the sun god?
Sol Invictus. That's what your
I'm not
man
following.
Constantine worshipped when he became Christian.
I'm not following Constantine.
you're not following
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, we don't.
Show me sun god in the. Show me sun god in our church.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you got a moon on your mosque, and you got the moon on
You got
your
a cross. Did you worship a cross?
Yeah.
You worship a cross? He worships a cross.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Right.
Take care of yourself.
No.
See you later,
It's in
mate.
the Bible.
Worship.
Pick up your cross and follow me.
Yeah.
So we pick it up.